You want answers?
I think I'm entitled to.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Prepared Mind channel. Zero Dark 30 blasting out of the bunker. And folks, it's time to defend your rights. This is all you have left right now in America. This is all you have left is your rights. And hey, that's a whole lot. Let me tell you. What are your rights? Does anyone even know anymore? I thought about this as I walked out the door. I'm like, does anyone even understand what rights are? Right? Do you understand who George Washington was, and Paul Revere, and Thomas Jefferson, and all these great philosophical thinkers who said, you know what? Damn it, we don't get to live because the king wants to allow us. And we don't get to live because the church says we're allowed to. We have rights. Right? The Almighty created us, not government, not a church. No. Right? And they did that. They started thinking, you know, what is it about me? Why is the king better than me? Why is the Pope better than me? Why is some lord of the land somewhere, you know, superior to me? They're not. They're not. So why do we allow them to do that to us, to treat us that way? Enough of that shit is essentially what they said. And they debated and they talked about the rights of men. And it's for all men. Okay? And that's how it ended up being for everyone. We're created equally. Right? And we have rights and we have duties and we have responsibilities to protect ourselves and protect our country and yada, yada, yada. On and on and on. What are our rights? You have the right to speak, to think, to pray, to worship, or not do any of those things. You don't have to say anything. Right? You have the right to remain silent. It's a right to remain silent. You cannot be forced to testify against yourself. All kinds of things. There's so many rights out there, yet people abandon them and give them up. Why? Because they don't understand what they are and how valuable they are. They really don't. They don't understand what this right is. How do we get through this, folks? How do we solve this problem in our country? There are people who are willing to take your rights every day of the week. They're all in government. There are people who are willing to make you give up your rights, to submit to them as if they're authority. They're all around us. There are people in our lives socially, people in our lives in our jobs. They want you to give up. Let them make decisions for you. See, that's just it. If you're making decisions for yourself, you're your own person. So they'll make the decisions for you. They will. They'll tell you what to wear. They'll tell you how to speak. They'll tell you everything they need, everything they can. The less control you have over yourself, the more right you have abandoned. And that's what they want. They want us to abandon, to give up our rights. Let's look at what's happening in Canada and Europe. In my lifetime, Canada has given up guns. Europe has given up guns. Australia has given up guns. Guns are not prevalent everywhere. The gun is just a tool. A rake is a tool. A broom is a tool. A spatula is a tool. Right? Those are just tools. Why are they not illegal? Well, because they can't be used to kill, John. Well, why would anyone need to kill anyone? Well, People are good. They don't need weapons and stuff. Well, there's bad people. And the good people should be allowed, right? They should not be prohibited. A government shouldn't hurt them and, take their weapons away. They have the right to speak. How many people, they just abandon that in other countries? There's no free speech. There's no right to defend yourself. Our First and Second Amendments around the world do not exist. They exist in part as a result or consequence of the state being generous and saying you're allowed to say things. See, that's what kings do. That's what clerics or priests do. They say, I'll allow it. You're allowed to, as if they're the parent of you. See, that's just it, folks, in America. When freedom was won for all of us as individuals, when freedom was won, as in evil was defeated, we became real live grown-ups, able to choose for ourselves that which we wanted, the life you wanted. Where do you want to live? If you're going to give up your right to speak and therefore give up your right to think, are you going to give up your right to live where you will? How about your right to go wherever you want, whenever you want? You can allow someone else to tell you those things? Don't worry, they will, and they're doing it right now. They're doing it right now. People are having their decisions made for them. We have to fight for our rights again now. Know what they are, know your rights, and defend them. Join me, join others. This is what we're going to be doing. First, it's going to be your right to live, your right to life. That's going to come first. If you don't have life, you've got nothing. And then everything else will follow. It makes perfect sense once you realize that government has failed, or the government has become completely tyrannical. Once you step into that frame of mind, you understand completely who owns who owns you, what you can do. Government today has demonstrated it's absolutely evil and corrupt. It is not just allowing, it's promoting the destruction of children. It's taken an institution of education and turned it into one of indoctrination and corruption of minds. It's taken our defense of our nation and it's perverted it and turned it into a social experiment. That's what it's done. Folks, government was instituted to protect us, not from ourselves, not from one another, but from evil, from crime. Right? Not to protect anyone from being insulted or offended. Right? There is no right to not be offended because people will find any reason to be offended. And we have evidence of that everywhere. Government has turned from what it was supposed to be into the thing that we feared most. And that is, it's a mechanism that's very powerful. And it has the appearance of legitimacy while it destroys people's lives. That's what the church is. Think about it. Church is supposed to save people, right? I'm saved. But ultimately, they control and destroy people's lives unless they behave and do as they're told. It becomes a controlling mechanism. Same with government. Same with government. It destroys lives. It tells you you can't have a weapon while it has all the weapons. It tells you you can't speak while it says whatever it wants. It's the government. It tells you Everything you need to know about evil. Here we are. Chance favors the prepared mind. Is yours. Defend your rights.